Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the terrifying world of Pokemon, where we explore some of the most darkest corners of this supposedly magical and delightful world through the power of story. Today, we follow a man who was just trying to work his job and got caught up in something truly terrifying. You'll come to find that this story actually isn't too far from our own reality and really can kind of give you a taste of, in a way, the stuff that can happen in our world. Why on earth is this shop open 24/7? Jordan wondered. No one is even out past 9 in this town. Jordan was irritated that he had, after successfully avoiding it for 2 years, finally got stuck with the night shift at the shop he worked at. The townspeople did indeed stick to a tight curfew. There have been reports over decades, in fact, so long ago that Jordan's parents remembered hearing them as kids, of a cult or gang of some kind that kidnapped wanderers at night, be it man, Pokemon, even children. So the townspeople, being a suspicious people, lived by a curfew. It wasn't a law, just something everyone collectively followed, and everyone was in their homes by 9 p.m. So Jordan really despised that their shop even had a late shift. He lasted a while, but sometime after midnight, he'd lost his cool and closed up shop. Then set sights for home. His town was settled alongside a lake, but one with plenty of crocodile, so no one went swimming in it. To the east was a small forest next to the lake. His house was just beyond that. It may sound far, but he could see it from the town, as it was all nestled around, as if their lives revolved around it, this lake. He began to walk toward the forest. Snap. Something stepped on a twig. It didn't even faze Jordan. Probably a furret. It's a forest. Pokemon live there. He kept walking. Then he heard a bleat. A bleat from a Mareep. Now that was odd. Mareep don't live in the forest. Only Mareep around here at the local farm. One must have gotten out, he thought to himself. I'll get it and take it back to the farm. He headed towards the bank of the lake, where he heard the cry come from. Upon coming out of the tree line, his heart dropped. There was not one, but 5 Mareep, all tied together on a set of boards, like a raft. He ran over to them and began to untie the ropes that bound them. "Hey!" a voice cried out. "What do you think you're doing?" Jordan turned. A man was running in his direction from down the bank. 2 more came out of the woods and also began to run towards him. Could the stories of the cult have been true? With one final tug, he removed the ropes, and the Mareep scattered. The men turned their direction to the Mareep and began to chase after them. "Help us out, Pidgeotto! Twister!" Jordan sent out his trusty Pokemon who had helped him fly many deliveries from the shop. Pidgeotto's Twister stopped the men in their tracks, allowing for the Mareep to escape. The men turned their attention back to Jordan and his Pidgeotto. "I'll handle this," a voice came from the forest, and a woman in a cloak came out. "Crobat, come out!" Jordan hadn't done a ton of battling with Pidgeotto, and in truth, it was low-leveled, only recently evolving from Pidgey, so he was rightfully nervous. "Aerial Ace, Pidgeotto!" Pidgeotto let loose its newest move. "Brave bird, Crobat!" she called out. Her voice was calm, as if she already knew she had won. When Crobat and Pidgeotto collided, it was that easy. Pidgeotto was down. Jordan recalled his Pokemon. "Who are you people?" "That doesn't matter. You took away the lake's sacrifice, so now you will stand in its place." Jordan didn't fully understand, but he knew well enough he didn't want to be here anymore. He ran as fast as he could down the shore back into town. The woman's Crobat flew quickly, blocking its path menacingly. Then a roar came from the center of the lake, causing Jordan and the Crobat to turn to its direction. "We haven't much time," said the woman from behind him. "I know you don't understand what's going on here, and I understand that we look rather suspicious. But for generations, my people have been protecting this town from its wrath. Jordan glanced back towards the lake. What was in there? He turned to the lady again, startled. If the lake doesn't get its sacrifice, she began, then it will choose the whole town as its meal. Well, you're all more than welcome to take that role, he yelled back. It's not that simple, replied the woman. As I said, my people have carried out this tradition for ages now. If we are gone, no one would be left to carry out the ritual. The lake would get angry, and then the lake would swallow the town eventually. Another roar came from the center of the lake. Crobat turned towards it. This was Jordan's chance. He fully jumped at the Crobat, tackling it down. Then he sprinted as fast as he could towards the woods. As he ran, he looked back over his shoulder. No one was looking at him, their attention on the lake. The men were shaking. Go get him, you fools, cried the woman. The men stayed fixated on the lake. They were frozen by fear. The woman had a very cold presence, and yet whatever was roaring from that lake scared them more. Go get him, you fools, the woman said more sternly. And then another roar from the lake. The woman looked down. She knew it was too late. He angered it, yelled one of the men, finally snapping out of their trance. You fools, called another man. One of you swim to it. Sacrifice yourselves so that we may all live. No, said the woman, rather calmly, as if she'd accepted their fate. It's too late now. She turned and looked at Jordan and said, I hope you're happy now. Then, as if summoned, a Gyarados emerged from the lake, very visibly angry. The last thing Jordan saw before his death were flames spewing from Gyarados' mouth onto the town, then onto the forest, and then onto him. Welcome back to those of you who were able to make it through that terrifying story. While we definitely aren't ever going to see a Gyarados emerge from our lake and destroy our villages, we do kind of have a problem with people in our reality, don't we? And yet, when you look at the Pokemon world, with how terrifying these creatures are, it provides more opportunity for evil in the Pokemon world. For today, I'd like us to ponder this question. Of all the villainous organizations or people we've seen across all Pokemon media, be it anime, video games, manga, who do you think is truly the most evil? And of course, you have to tell me why. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss future episodes of the terrifying world of Pokemon. We're one away now. Next episode is the season finale. I thank you all for joining us on this journey. And until next time, I will see all of you later.